The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A Democratic Republic of Sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Tank Spencer, and he's Jeremy Greene, and it's time for another 7-round mock draft, the 2021 NFL Draft. Coming up quickly, Thursday, April the 29th. And don't forget, we are going to be live for all 3 days of the draft here in the Wicked Weed studio. Going to be a whole lot of fun, whole lot of drinking. Probably going to be tired at the end of it, but fuck it, we don't care. Let's talk about the New York Jets.
My 2021 Super Bowl champion, New York Jets.
Wow. All right, you got the number 2 pick in the draft. You're going to get Zach Wilson. You're going to get a quarterback. But I'm really interested to see how you're going to screw it up from there. Zach Wilson, though, I mean, there is no doubt he's the number 2 quarterback in this class. For me, for you, for pretty much everybody except for the Justin Fields lovers.
Yep. Zach Wilson's a fantastic player. Injuries are what threw off the tape. There was high-level tape before this year. Don't let people lie to you and tell you there wasn't. He's clearly the second best player in this class to me, quarterback-wise. I think he's going to be fantastic. He throws, he's great off balance. I think he fits this Shanahan, Mike LaFleur offense really, really well. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Everything he's done up to this point looks like he's going to be a franchise guy in New York. Now, I've said that before. I said that about Sam Darnold. Yep. We miss you, Sam. But I do really like Zach Wilson. And my favorite stat about him, he took 2 girls to his high school prom.
Nice.
Coffees for closers. He takes his with 2 creams.
Absolutely. I like Zach Wilson as well. I think he's going to do well in New York. The new coaching staff, I believe the New York Jets have gotten it right this time. But
I do too.
We'll just have to wait and see. They also traded up.
Yeah, I haven't traded up from 23 to 17. Joe Douglas has basically laid the groundwork of, hey, there's somebody I really, really like in this class, and I think it's Ali Vera-Tucker. He played tackle last year at USC. He started as a guard. I think he can play any position. I think he would be a good tackle. I think he would be a Pro Bowl elite guard. I don't even know a comp to him. He's not crazy athletic, but he's just so clean. He does everything well. And I think that, to me, he's the best guard in this class, and it's not even close.
So in your scenario, you keep Mekhi Becton, you keep George Fant on the outside of the line, and you move him to the inside?
Yes, I think George Fant can be a better tackle in this scheme than he was in Adam Gase's, because they drew plays in, like, dirt and shit.
Right.
The sheer fact that Mike LaFleur showed up with a playbook, that tells me he's better than Adam Gase.
Mm-hmm. Got to be able to get after the quarterback as well to be successful in this league. So in the second round with the 34th overall pick, got the New York Jets taking Gregory Rousseau out of Miami.
One of my favorite pass rushers. I had him in the top 10 of the first mock I did. He opted out last year. He showed up to his pro day a little chunky.
Pudgy. Mm-hmm.
And there's some question about work ethic and all those things. I have none of those fears. A lot of people have said, we had Quincy Roche on the other side. Okay. Oh, and Jalen Phillips was really good too. Yeah, because he's a really good player. He actually goes 1 pick later to the Miami Dolphins. So, yeah, he's a pretty good player too. I think Gregory's, not 1 pick later. He goes at 1 pick after the Ali Vera-Tucker pick to the Dolphins. I just think this is a really good pass rusher. He's a long guy. In Salah's defense, they rotate they rotate ends a lot. I think he can be a piece with Carl Lawson and Vinny Curry. I think there's a perfect scenario for him, and I don't see him getting past the Jets at 34.
2 picks in the third round for the Jets. The first one coming up at 66th overall and taking Michael Carter out of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Running back that I really, really like. Javonte Williams has jumped up to the number 1 running back in this class. I honestly don't see that large of a gap between Javonte Williams and Michael Carter. I think this could be a massive steal for you guys at 66.
I agree, and I think he's a very good zone running back. Mm-hmm. Javonte Williams struggled with zone concepts, so Michael Carter was the one that got to do it. I think in this system he would be fantastic. I could easily see him being a 1,000-yard rusher in this offense. Mm-hmm. The Jets are going to draft a running back. I just don't think it's going to be Travis Etienne or Javonte Williams or any of those guys. I've never seen them run zone. I've seen Michael Carter do it. Mm-hmm. Biggest knock on him is he's only 5'8". No, we've said this about receivers. The league's getting smaller because the league is getting faster. Mm-hmm. You can't hit guys the way you used to. You can't tug on receivers anymore. I think a 5'9", 190 or a 200-pound running back, I think it's just fine.
Yeah, I think Michael Carter's physical enough at the next level. He averaged over 6 yards a carry at Carolina, and his hands are pretty damn good as well.
Yeah, he's not a great pass blocker, but you've got guys. You got Tevin Coleman, LaMichael Piron. I don't necessarily need you to be a great pass blocker.
86th overall in the third round, Benjamin St. Juste, the cornerback out of Minnesota. Tell us about him.
He's a fucking dinosaur. He's a unicorn.
A unicorn.
He is insanely long. What does Rob Salah, the Seattle, the San Franciscos, what do they love in corners? Big and long. And that's what Benjamin St. Juste is. He's really good in zone concepts. Doesn't necessarily have the most fluid hips you've ever seen. Mm-hmm. We said the same thing about Richard Sherman coming out too. So I think this kid can be that level good. This is one of my favorite corners in this class. I cannot teach a corner to be 6'3". Not a ton of tape on this guy. He only played 420 coverage plays in his life. So there are things that I could ding him on. KJ Hamler in 2019 just beat him like a kettle drum. Now, KJ Hamler's real small and real fast. That's not what he's going to be asked to do in the NFL. That cover 3 scheme the Jets run, I think he would be a tremendous fit. 3
picks in the 5th round for the Jets. At 146, Brady Christensen, tackle out of BYU.
I really love this kid. I do. I think he's a guard, most likely in the NFL, but I do think he can play some tackle. This was the left tackle for Zach Wilson. Mm-hmm. You want to make a guy feel really comfortable in New York, put his best friend on the team.
Definitely.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really do that on purpose. I just got to the pick and I went, well, this makes just way too much damn sense. Mm-hmm. A lot of teams see him as a guard. I think he can be a tackle in this zone scheme that would allow Fant to kick out and be the 6th offensive lineman, or he could do that. Whatever the case may be, he's a mauler. He's a gigantic human being. Feet are a little clunky, but I think in a big boy NFL strength and conditioning program, dietary program, I think he might get a little leaner. And I could see him. I actually think he can play tackle in the NFL.
At 154th overall, Amir Smith-Marset, wide receiver out of Iowa. This is a guy that I saw quite a bit of tape on, and I really like what I've seen, his ability to get after the ball.
I'll tell you who he reminds me of, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
He's 6'1", about $180, so he's a little thin, but he's got some serious juice. Mm-hmm. I really like this guy with the ball in his hand. The knock on him is that press corners are going to get in his head because he can get rattled when he gets pushed around because he's not super physical. I don't care. He has NFL big boy speed. I see him being used in that Deebo Samuel role where we're just going to get the ball in your hand and then you figure it out because he is absolutely one of the best. In the 10 years I've been doing this, I think I've only seen maybe 10 guys ever that were better deep ball receivers than this guy, and you couldn't get any of them in the 5th round. You may not be able to get this guy in the 5th round. Mm-hmm. He has gone up boards. As teams have watched tape on him, they've gotten much more comfortable with him. Drops is a little bit of a concern, but the way I think he would be used, he would be a great fit for the Jets.
At 162, Shakur Brown, a cornerback out of Michigan State.
This is a guy that was coached in college by Mel Tucker at Michigan State. Mm-hmm. I really like the tape on him. One of the knocks on him is going to be that there's some inconsistent tape. Well, you're in the 5th round picking a cornerback. That's going to happen. I like the kid. He's 5'11". He's not as long necessarily as the Jets would like him to be. The tape last year in the condensed season was much better than it had been in the past. One of the knocks is going to be, his 3 worst games were against the 3 best teams they played. Well, duh. Of course it is. He's a little too aggressive, tries to get to the ball, tries to make the play. Sometimes he'll overrun the play. He's a little grabby, but he's got inside-outside versatility. I think he can play on the inside or the outside. And he was the 14th rated corner in the country last year. That's not something you can usually find in the 5th round.
The Jets have 2 picks in the 6th round as well, going wide receiver again, this time out of Clemson, going with Cornell Powell, a guy who, he was, the 5th option for Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, but still had some good tape.
He was down there. There is some good tape. He was overshadowed a little bit at Clemson by Amari Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
6 foot, 210, nothing great. There's nothing splendiferous about him.
You're right.
Not a crazy fast guy. Here's the thing. If the player that he is what we saw from week 9 of last year on, he's going to be a legitimate 2 or 3 in this league. The problem is that by the time he did that, he was 23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a grown man playing against kids. I always get scared with that. That's why he's going to fall down into the 5th round, 6th round. But I can see him I can see him slotting in as an NFL 2 or a 3. He kind of reminds me of Richard Rodgers, a guy that played with the Jets a few years ago, or Richard Matthews. Not Richard. Richard Rodgers, a fucking tight end. I've done a lot of these today.
Yeah.
I see him as that. He's never going to be anything special, but he's a guy that can go get you a catch when you need one.
All right, and lastly, adding another piece to the defensive side of the ball, an edge rusher out of Pitt, Patrick Jones II.
This is a guy that got overshadowed at Pitt because he had Rashad Weaver on the other side. The tape, you see the physical tools, you know what he can be, and the tape just leaves you wanting something. That's why he's going to fall this far. Some of his bull rushes die on their sword. It's almost like if the first move doesn't work, he just gives up. But this is a guy that has natural talent that you just can't teach. I can't teach a guy to be 6'5", 260 and be as fast as this guy is. I think you get him with Rob Salah. He has enough time to really coach this kid up because he's not going to be asked to do a lot. I mean, you got to think in the scenario I'm laying out here, you've got Rousseau, Vinny Curry, Carl Lawson all ahead of him. Mm-hmm. So he's going to come in and play 15, 20 pass rush snaps a game. You're not going to ask him to do a lot, and I think he could do that tremendously. I think he would be, in time, the replacement to Vinny Curry. They brought him in for 1 year. He's 32, 33 years old. I think a year from now, you could ask him to play the Vinny Curry role. And basically, anytime you can do that with a pick this late, that's a value.
The New York Jets are scrubbing the Adam Gase era out the door, bringing in Rob Salah, Mike LaFleur, and, of course, the number 2 pick in this draft, Zach Wilson. I think the future is bright. Hopefully, for your sake, Jeremy, y'all don't screw it up.
We won't. All gas, no brake. Jets, Jets.
Don't forget, we will be live here in the Wicked Weed studio for all 3 days of the NFL Draft. Thursday night, Friday night, all day on Saturday. Be sure to join us. Hit the subscribe button as well to see all of the 7-round mock drafts here in the Sportsocracy.
You'll get to see Lou Holtz, Christopher Walken. There's all kinds of little fun voices that I'm going to break out for this. And one of us might end up perilously drunk by the end of it.
True. I'm Tex Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We'll see you next time.